Hello and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Frankie and I work here at NCFE in our customer support team. Today's webinar will take you through the new booking screen on the portal. So let's get started. First of all, you'll see on the portal in the welcome screen, one thing that's changed is the entries tab has gone and it's replaced with our new bookings tab. Everything will be managed with regards to booking exams on this tab. Entries is now known as bookings and previous entries is gone. Everything will be managed under one tab and this one is it, Manage Bookings. I'd like to go through some examples with you so you can see what it would look like when you make your own bookings. So I do have a couple of different batch numbers. We'll go through those and you can see the key changes. So one of the new features is that you can search for your learners with a forename or a surname, even a product code. Before we just had batch, but for this example, this is what I'll be using, a batch number. So I've entered the batch number and I can see the group of learners here. So for the example, I will select all learners and add them to an assessment. You can see the two options down here. The first one we'll need is Make Bookings. So this is the new screen for making an exam entry for a group of learners. First of all, you'll see the qualification title, your name and your email address as the contact. Below, we've got the list of learners and the external assessments that are connected to the qualification. For this one, there are two. It's functional skills and there's reading and writing. In some instances, you'd like to book both assessments at the same time, and this can be done easily. This is one of the main new features to the portal to make things quicker for our centres. This feature here, Manage Selection, will allow you to select a full group of learners for an assessment. It makes things quicker when you're making your bookings. For the example, I'll be entering the learners for both external assessments, reading and writing. If we scroll down the page, you'll notice the reading and writing assessments are populated here. So something that is new to the portal that you won't be familiar with is a change here where you can select a delivery address. Any address that shows in this drop-down menu should be a registered satellite centre with your account. If you notice the address you would like isn't there, please contact NCFE and we can get that added to your account so you will see it in the drop-down menu in the future. For this example, I'm going to select the delivery address as our main address. The next box below is the assessment location, and it says here, if different to a delivery address. This can happen at some centres, and you would just type in the full address of the location there. You won't have to type it in every time. Once you've typed an address in once, it will remember that. For this scenario, I'm going to say it's the same as the delivery address. And next, we'll just simply select the date and time. This is an on-demand assessment, so it is the centre's responsibility to select the date and time of the assessment. That's the reading done, and I'll move on to writing now. Once I've selected all the details for the exam entries, and I'm happy that the content is correct, I'll just go to the bottom of the page and select Book Entries. You'll be able to see here the details for the exams. The first one is reading and the group of learners that are entered. You'll see that there's an option for the contact, that's my name and my email address. This page gives you the chance to view everything before it's confirmed. You'll see a section here where you can select Edit Entries. I'm going to do that now, and I'll show you how you can go back and change anything about the entries that you've made. For this example, I would like to add an additional contact. This is something that is a new feature to the portal. If you add an additional contact at this stage, it will only be for dispatch emails. So any emails will go to anybody included in this section to let you know when the papers are on the way to the centre. You'll need their full name and their email address. If you need to edit anything with regards to the location, you can do that at this stage. and that will show on the next page, again, when you select book entries. Here we are with the confirmation, and once I'm happy with everything that I've entered, I will be able to confirm the bookings, and I'll just select book entries at the bottom of the page. Now that my bookings are made, you'll see the confirmation page. This will give you your reports. You'll get an order summary and the confirmation reports to prove who's been entered. As a handy little tip, it's been added here to the portal, a link to our reasonable adjustments policy. It's just a reminder that if you do have any learners that require a reasonable adjustment, you can get the form directly from the portal here to save you time. I'll move on now to another example, just by selecting enter more learners. This is a different example with a different style qualification, but it's the same process that we'll follow every time. So here we are with one of our cash qualifications. You can see it's the same layout as before and the chance to add an additional contact. Again, you would just select that button and put in the full name and the email address. Please remember, if you add a contact here, it's just for the dispatch email, so that contact will also know when the papers are going to be delivered. I've got the list of learners. For this qualification, there are multiple assessments. So from the drop down, you'll have your options. Once you've selected the assessment, you'll then select the assessment window. Once you're happy with your selection, you'll go to book entries. And again, you'll get the confirmation page just to double check that everything you've entered is correct. I'm happy with that, so we'll select book entries. So here we are again. This is a confirmation screen with the order summary and the reports that are available. Again, you'll see the link here for reasonable adjustments. So that's our 2 entries made. I'll now show you how you can manage your bookings, and we'll go into view booking screen. So you'll go back to the top and select bookings and then manage bookings. Here is my group of learners that I made the entries for first of all. These are the functional skills English. So if I want to see what bookings I've made for these learners, I would go to the bottom of the page, and this time I would select view bookings. This page gives me the chance to see which bookings I've already made, and you can see the 2 assessments here, first reading and secondly writing. You can click into these and they'll drop down and show you the actions that you've made. This is also where you would receive any reports that you need for the entries confirmation. They're all available on this page. So now that you've seen how the entry screen works, I would like to point out a few key points. With the new booking screen comes some new features. You are able to enter multiple batches at the same time as long as the learners are on the same session. This is really handy for centres that do have more than one group of learners in the same session. It's designed to make things a lot quicker for all of our centres. You will need to use the product code when you make the booking. You would enter the qualification code here. Another key point is about late bookings. Late bookings can be made for up to 20 learners until 11:59 p.m. the night before the assessment date. For centres with more than 20 learners, they will follow the same process as normal and contact the CST team at NCFE. Please be aware any late bookings made would still incur the usual fees. Something else as a key point is any entries made for the same date and time will now be collated into one. in the past you would have had separate entries with separate invigilators registers. Now, when the entries are collated, this means you'll have one pack and one invigilator's register, making things much more simple for you. Now that we have been through the new booking screen on the portal, that brings us to the end of our webinar. If you do have any queries or questions, the portal user guide will be updated and you'll find that under the support tab. And if you do have any more queries, we will be happy to help. Thank you for your time.